So today's park run is Foot in the Lake District, and this is the start line. This is a 4-lap course. I'm starting on my second lap because the camera was facing the wrong way round. And this is often voted one of the most scenic park runs in the UK, so you can see why. I think I'm looking at my watch here. So the camera is strapped to my head. And this is the winter course. I'm going to put the Strava map on now. And those two little lines you can see at the bottom, they're like an uphill and then back downhill around the cone. Many park runs have those hairpins. And thanks to all the volunteers, as usual, for standing out in the freezing cold in this one. So here's the downhill bit. And this one does have a nice long straight path at the side of Lake Windermere with a view of some snow-topped mountains in the background. And the car park was actually full when we got here. We had to park a few minutes down the road and we nearly arrived late for this one. But this may well be my favourite park run that I've done. I must come back for the summer for the alternative course. And on the winter course, there are signs saying no dogs or no prams, but you can bring them on the alternative spring-summer course. But I don't know when the winter course quite ends. And it's mostly on gravel and tarmac paths. And there is a toilet and cafe right by the start. And there's a round cone. But I wouldn't say this is a difficult course. Those two little hairpins are up quite a steep hill, but it is quite short, and then it's back down the hill. I'm going to put the elevation up here, but it don't really show it as very hilly. If you look in the top left corner, shows you the elevation. So it is up and down, but not too difficult. And this is another one of the hills. I mean, they seem to get harder. With it being 4 laps, each hill seems to get more difficult on each approach. And so many park runs were cancelled today, as is often the case in January. Most of the ones that are cancelled were in the Midlands. There was a few in the Lake District. I was staying there for the weekend, and there were quite a few cancelled. Windlatter Forest, which is another one is on my must-do park runs list, that was cancelled. This was not even my nearest one to where I was staying, but it's been on my to-do list for quite a while now. Ford and Barrow were actually closer. I actually drove past near where they start just to get here. So this is the long bit alongside Lake Windermere. I think you see me get my phone out in a minute to get some zoomed in footage, which I'm going to play up now. And you can see those snow-topped mountains, and you do actually run really close to Lake Windermere. As you can see along this path, it's quite narrow as well. But I think I slowed down here just to take in some of that scenery. And got my phone out to get some better footage. I've always said that if this channel takes off and gets more subscribers, I'll get a better camera than this one. I actually got 27 minutes on this park run, which is 5 minutes faster than the previous week, as I'm still recovering from knee surgery. I am nowhere near back to fitness, but whilst I'm staying in the Lake District, this is the first lap. I took my jacket off at this stage, I think, because it was freezing, so I had to start my jacket off, finish with my t-shirt. And this is not far from the Lakeside Motor Museum, where I did go after this, which is a really good place to visit, one of the best museums I've been. I'll put some footage on that towards the end, and the Cumbria Council can thank me later for it. But I am hoping to do this year a different park run every week, and I've got in my sights, I've set a target for this year. I've got to do at least one in Scotland, one in Wales, one in London, one in Northern Ireland, one in the Channel Islands. I'm going to try and do the A to Z, so I'm going to do Zuiderpark it's near The Hague in the Netherlands, and I'm also trying to do the three hardest when I'm fully fit, which is Great Yarmouth, Woolacombe Dunes, and Windlatter Forest in the Lake District. So I'm going to do, and maybe do one of the easiest. Walsall Arboretum is supposed to be the flattest and one of the easiest in the UK, but Pegwell Bay down in Kent is one of the easiest because it's shorter than 5k. And I also have a bucket list of the most scenic park runs in the UK. And long term, when I'm fully fit, I do have my sights on the world's hardest park run, which is Thousand Hills Park Run in South Africa, just outside Durban, which I did look, and it's at £860-something for a Friday night stay return ticket from Manchester Airport. So maybe one day. But there will be occasions when I just fly up to some local Manchester park run somewhere for this video. I have done all 24 Greater Manchester park runs, but I've just not done them all for this channel. And because this is a 4-lap course, it's just going to loop and there's no footage. There's an ice patch there. There was quite a few of them, but the marshals were great in pointing them out. So I'm going to show some random footage from the Lakeside Motor Museum. More ice. Random intervals. So you only need the footage for one lap if you're looking, because that's one of the reasons I started this channel. When I wanted to do new park runs, I was looking to see what the course was like, whether it was hilly, whether it was grass, whether it was tarmac, and things like that. So it is actually good to see actual footage of it. So this is the winter course. So, I mean, I've mapped out the whole course on here. So I'm going to get that Lakeside Motor Museum footage in. There you go. That yellow car there reminds me of the kids' TV programme Brum. If you ever watched that in early 90s, mid-90s, I think. Yeah, but I filmed it in portrait mode, mainly for Facebook stories and stuff. But so you can still see the running course. I'm going to throw another one up. I'm going to throw it on the right just so not to spoil that view of the Lake District. But I did notice as time went by, that view became a little bit more visible as the mist started to clear up. And there's loads of information about all these cars and little tickets and stuff. There's loads of motorbikes there as well. Classic ones, 1920s, 30s. Upstairs is all bikes. There's even bicycles, penny farthings, all kinds of stuff. That's all upstairs. Coming back, this is the second lap. Well, it's the third, I think, because I didn't actually film the first lap. I'm going to put more Motor Museum footage up here for you. There's the classic Sierra RS Cosworth. I don't know if these cars actually still run. I was curious about them. There's a Ford Capri. And we have the DeLorean. Don't know if it goes up to 88 miles an hour or not. But I just couldn't resist doing this. I'll get it up in a minute. I did actually want to put Huey Lewis and the News Power of Love as the soundtrack to this, but YouTube don't let you use copyright music. I think that's all I've got to say for this video. But yeah, it was one of my favourite park runs. And that's it. So you can carry on watching to the end, which always helps the channel. And I'll just overlay some more footage of Lake Windermere scenery.